G'day, Professor Joseph Drew. I was recently in Perth for the WA Local Government Professionals Conference. Extremely good conference. Heartily recommend it. There's a picture of me presenting. Anyway, I was asked a series of questions at the end of my presentation, and one of them was, should local government be more decentralised? Apparently the King had offered an opinion on this. Stay tuned, I'll give you my full answer. So apparently the King thinks that we should be more decentralised in our government. What does that mean? It means doing more functions at the lowest level of government. A lot of people in Australia don't realise we're highly centralised. Local government in other countries, such as Japan, they do all sorts of things. They do welfare, education, run hospitals, run the local protective services, housing, so many things that we don't do. We have one of the most limited remits in the world. Now, there is good reason to think that more decentralised government, more powers delivered by local government, would be more efficient and result in a more harmonious and effective society. In this video, I'll go through some of those reasons. Now, I could spend a lot of time talking about how delivering services closer to the people makes a lot of sense. But I think one example should get this through to everyone. COVID. Remember when they locked down the whole state? I can remember. I'm up in Moombi, like 400 k's northwest of Sydney. They locked down the whole state, including us, because there were some COVID cases in Sydney. What an inefficient, ineffective policy. Why lock people in their houses who are well in Tamworth because there's some sick people 400 kilometres away in Sydney? If you ever want proof of the fact that we need far more greater decentralisation in Australia, that is a prime example. But I go through it in my book, in my current book, Creating Human Value, my previous books, particularly in saving local government, that it's always going to be more effective. Why? If the decision makers have to live with the consequences of their decisions. So if the people making decisions about COVID or education or health or policing or fire or whatever were living in Tamworth or Moombi, their decisions would have an effect on their own lives. Now, people by nature, more interested in themselves than others. If they're making decisions that will directly affect their own lives, the lives of their friends and their extended family, they're going to put a lot more care into those decisions. They're going to be a lot better informed about whether those decisions are smart and what the effects of those decisions are. Decentralisation is going to be a lot more effective. Now, you've only got to look at the fracturing of Australia, the violent protests I see just about everywhere on the news every time I turn it on, to know that we've got more and more division. Now, people tend to sort themselves homogenously, like similar people end up living in similar areas. It's the basis of Tybau's foot sorting theory, fundamental theory of economics. You have similar people in similar areas. Now, if we decentralise government so that the decisions are being made in those areas where the people are, we're much more likely to be able to tailor our decisions and tailor our government goods and services to the particular preferences, needs and wishes of those people. And that makes us much less likely to have violent protests and disagreeable behaviours being shown on our news every night. And believe it or not, it's an empirical fact. There is a famous book, The Decentralisation Theorem, written in 1975, I think it was. I've got a copy of it up here in my bookshelf. Written by the great Wallace Oates, one of the towering figures of economics. And he showed mathematically that decentralised government will always be, must be, as at least efficient as more centralised forms, and usually far more efficient than centralised government. It's just the fact. The facts are in. The king is right. As I said, one of the many excellent questions asked of me at the Western Australian Local Government Professionals Conference. Here's another photo from the conference. Great conference. Heartily recommend it. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe and flick this video on. Thank you very, very much. Goodbye.